I stood in my parents' living room, watching my mother straighten the already perfect throw pillows for the third time. Tonight's dinner party was crucial. A potential investor for my father's struggling tech startup was coming, and everything had to be flawless. "Remember," Mom whispered, adjusting my collar, "if anyone asks what you do, just say you're between projects." I nodded, swallowing the familiar sting. At 28, I'd gotten used to being my parents' secret shame. The doorbell chimed, and my father ushered in Marcus Chun, a silver-haired venture capitalist whose name carried weight in Silicon Valley. Behind him were his wife, Laura, and their teenage daughter. "Welcome, welcome." Dad's voice boomed with a cheerfulness he didn't feel. "This is our son, James." Marcus's handshake was firm, his eyes sharp and assessing. Throughout the appetizers, I played my role perfectly, the vague, underachieving son who smiled politely and said very little. My parents had rehearsed this dance with me many times before. They just didn't get it. How could they? My father built enterprise software, and my mother ran a consulting firm. They lived in a world of spreadsheets and boardrooms. My world was different, chaotic, creative, and often misunderstood. "So James," Marcus said, settling into the dinner conversation, "what industry are you in?" My mother's fork froze mid-air. My father coughed. "I'm exploring options," I managed. Marcus's eyebrow arched slightly, but he moved on, asking my father about projected revenue. I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. Then Laura pulled out her phone, scrolling absently. She stopped, squinted at the screen, then looked up at me with widening eyes. "Oh my God," she whispered. "Your JJ sketch." The room fell silent, my mother's face drained of all color. "I'm sorry?" Dad asked, completely confused. "JJ sketch." Laura turned her phone toward her husband. "The animator! Our daughter is obsessed with your web series. Chronicles of the Forgotten Realm. We've watched every episode twice." Marcus leaned over, and recognition slowly dawned on his face. "Wait, that's you? The one with 40 million subscribers?" 42 million, I corrected quietly, watching my parents' expressions cycle through shock, confusion, and something that looked a lot like horror. "Subscribers to what?" Mom's voice was faint. "YouTube primarily," I said, "and some other streaming platforms. I'm an animator and content creator." The word YouTuber hung unspoken in the air, the career my parents had begged me to hide, the embarrassing hobby they'd dismissed for the last 7 years. "This is incredible." Marcus was now scrolling through my channel, completely engrossed. "The production value, the storytelling." "Laura, look at these numbers." "James, do you realize the engagement rates you're pulling?" "I have a general idea," I said carefully. "And the merchandise is in?" Marcus continued, his investor brain clearly whirring. "I saw the plushies at the mall last month. Those are yours?" "Yes, and the books, a graphic novel series. And we're currently in talks for a streaming adaptation." My father looked like he might faint. "An adaptation?" Marcus set down his phone, his entire demeanor shifted. "James, I don't know what your financial situation is, but with these metrics, you should be looking at 8 figures annually, minimum." "It's slightly more than that," I admitted. My mother made a small, choked sound. "Why didn't you tell us?" Dad finally managed to ask. "I tried," I said, years of hurt surfacing in my voice, "but you called it a phase. A waste of my degree. You asked me not to mention it at family gatherings because it was embarrassing." Marcus looked between us, understanding dawning on his face. "You're kidding. Your son is one of the most successful independent creators in the digital space, and you wanted him to hide it?" The silence was deafening. Laura broke it gently. "Would you sign my daughter's phone case?" "She brings it everywhere." I smiled, pulling out the marker I always carried for exactly these moments. Of course, as I signed, I caught my parents' eyes. I saw shame there now, but for the first time, it wasn't shame of me. It was shame of themselves, for not seeing what I had built, for not believing in me. "We need to talk," Dad said quietly after a long moment. And for the first time in years, I actually believed him. Thanks for watching. If you have a story about following your passion against the odds, share it in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more.